Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Parashat Vayeitzei, Jacob leaves home from Beersheba and travels to Charan. He arrives at a place and puts his head down because he's tired at night and has the famed vision of the ladder, which has its feet firmly entrenched on the ground and its head in the heavens. And he sees angels going up and down. What exactly is going on in the story, in this vision? Our rabbis tell us something fascinating, that when Jacob leaves home and he travels to Charan, there is a gap of 14 years, 14 missing years. What happened during these 14 missing years, explains the Medrash. Jacob went and spent some time studying in the academy of the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. Who was Shem and Aver? Shem was the son of Noah, survivor of the flood. Aver was his great-grandson, who was around at the time of the Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babel. Why was it so important that Jacob should spend time with them? Surely he had studied the Torah at the feet of with his father Isaac, at the feet of his grandfather Abraham. What else did he need to learn? Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, one of the great Torah personalities of the last century, explains that there was a value that he needed to absorb. Shem was brought up in a world that was going to literally be destroyed by water, going under. And his father Noah was able to give him the tools to survive in that strange and foreign environment. In an environment that was completely opposite to his own. Where Gezel, where thievery and murder and all acts of immorality was present. But Noah was able to give to Shem those values of how to survive in a world gone crazy. Aver, on the other hand, lived in the time of the Tower of Babel. It was a time of a religious upheaval. There was a rebellion against God. Let us go let's build a tower. Let's go and attack God. How do you survive in a world where there's an attack against godliness and spirituality? Jacob had grown up in a world of spirituality, in the tent of Isaac, in the tent of Abraham. He needed these other skills, these other lessons, before he could go to Lavan. So what exactly happened? What was the shiur? What was happening in that lecture? I would like to suggest that the lecture can be encapsulated by the vision of the ladder. If we look at the ladder, it says like this: Vayivga b'makom, he arrived at a certain place. The rabbis identify the certain place as none other than Mount Moriah, the place of the Akedah, where Isaac is bound by his father Abraham. It is a place of great spiritual connection and links Jacob to the roots of the generations past. It also says that the legs of the ladder were mutzav arza, were entrenched in a land, the land of Israel. Jacob had a connection, a deep spiritual connection to the land of Israel. These were his roots. V'rosho magia shamayma, the head of the ladder was in the heavens. That was a symbol of a religious journey, of a goal, of a vision. And when it was in the heavens, it meant there was going to be a journey that he's going to have to constantly push himself to try and achieve. And then the most important part of our ladder were the rungs of the angels walking, climbing up and descending. What exactly was happening with these angels? I'll leave it to the world of the Medrash and for you to discover. But I would like to suggest the following, that the message of these angels to Jacob was like this: that you're about to leave the land, you have the comforts of your home, you're going to travel to a foreign area, you're going to come under the influence of Lavan, who's a trickster of repute. How are you going to keep your standards of religious standards? Keep your connection, keep your kids engaged. Understand the message and the metaphor of the ladder. You're going to have to walk up slowly, rung by rung by rung. The beauty of the rungs is that if you're struggling to climb, you can pause, have a break, hold on, and then continue. But realize something else, that when you're involved yourself in this environment, there are going to be times when you're red. You're not going to be able to achieve the same levels as before. You might lose something in the process. Watch the angels going up and down. Olim v'yordim. Jacob takes the message of the ladder. and it will sustain him during the time that he is away. For 20 years, Jacob will be exposed to the culture of Lavan. In the Pesach Haggadah, we say the words, Arami over Avi. An Aramean tried to destroy my father. Lavan tried his best to destroy Jacob, the spiritual father of the Jewish people. He tried to interfere and destroy the vision, but he failed. Why? Because Jacob had the ladder. He understood where he came from, the roots within the land of Israel. He understood that he was part of a divine journey, a mission that was far in the heavens. And he also understood, Jacob, that there are going to be defeats and there are going to be failures, but I'm not getting off this ladder. I'll continue to climb step by step. And this was the values that he learned from the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. It is incredible. It's easy to be involved and keep your level and keep your religious beliefs when you're in the tent of Isaac and the tent of Abraham. It is far more difficult when you are out there in the wild. A survey shows that even the most dedicated parents are only giving their children 2 to 3 hours of instruction, religious instruction, per week. The rest of the time they are being exposed to Netflix, to TikTok, and all the other forms of social media. How are we keeping our kids focused? I believe we need to have the vision of Jacob's ladder in front of us. We need to encourage, reinforce the principles, the roots of where they came from, of the connection to the land and the connection to the land of Israel. We need to explain to our children, Rosho Magia Shamayim, they're part of an incredible people, which has a rich heritage and rich history, and we have a beautiful and incredibly inspiring future to attain. We are on this ladder, and we're going to climb this ladder. And yes, I know there's going to be times you're going to fail, you're going to struggle, but olim v'yordim. You go, as long as you're holding on to that ladder, you'll continue to grow and go and move up step by step. May every single day be a chance in which you climb one more rung, but never be disappointed if you seem to be struggling to hold on and need to drop down one level. Strengthen yourself and continue. I believe this was the teaching that Shem and Aver gave to Yaakov, which they said, this helped us to survive the challenges of our time. It will help you, Yaakov, when you travel to Lavan, and it will help each and every one of us as we try and raise ourselves and our families in this world. Shabbat Shalom.